In the early 2nd century, the Roman Ninth Legion, the Legio IX Hispana, was one of the most experienced fighting forces in the empire. It had served in Spain, in Africa, and in the brutal conquest of Britain. It had fought under Julius Caesar in Gaul. It had survived mutiny, civil war, and the Boudiccan revolt of 60 AD, where it was badly mauled, but rebuilt. By the reign of Emperor Trajan, the Ninth was stationed in the north of Britain, at the fortress of Iberacum, modern-day York. And then, sometime in the early 2nd century, it vanished from the historical record. No ancient source records the Ninth Legion being destroyed. No battle account describes its end. No monument commemorates its loss. It simply stops appearing in Roman military documents. One day, it was part of the most powerful army in the world. Then it was gone. The mystery of the Ninth Legion has fascinated historians for centuries, and it remains one of the great unsolved questions of Roman military history. The traditional story, popularized by Rosemary Sutcliffe's 1954 novel The Eagle of the Ninth, places the Legion's destruction in Scotland, overwhelmed by Caledonian tribes somewhere beyond the frontier. This narrative is dramatic and satisfying, but the evidence for it is thin. What we know for certain is that the Ninth was at York around 108 AD. A building inscription from that date bears its name. After that, silence. Some historians have argued that the Legion was not destroyed in Britain at all. A handful of officers who once served with the Ninth appear in later records at other postings, particularly in the eastern provinces. This suggests the Legion may have been transferred out of Britain, possibly to the Rhine frontier, or to the east, where Rome fought major campaigns against Parthia under Trajan and later under Hadrian. If the Ninth was moved east, it may have been destroyed at a battle we know about but cannot connect to a specific legion, or it may have been disbanded after a defeat and its number quietly retired, a practice Rome occasionally followed when a legion suffered irredeemable disgrace. The timing matters. Hadrian became emperor in 117 AD and almost immediately visited Britain, ordering the construction of his famous wall across the narrow neck of the island. Some historians see the wall itself as evidence that something catastrophic happened in northern Britain, that Rome was drawing a permanent defensive line because it could no longer hold territory further north. If the Ninth had been destroyed by northern tribes, Hadrian's wall might be the empire's response, a monument to a defeat Rome refused to publicly acknowledge. But there is a problem with every theory. The destruction in Britain theory lacks a source. The transfer theory cannot explain why the Ninth disappears so completely from the record, since transferred legions normally continue to appear in documents. The disbandment theory lacks a documented cause. We are left with an absence, a legion-shaped hole in the historical record, and every explanation requires filling that hole with assumptions. What makes the Ninth Legion's disappearance so compelling is what it reveals about the limits of historical knowledge. Rome was the most documented civilization of the ancient world. Its military kept meticulous records. Its historians chronicled campaigns in exhaustive detail. Its commemorative inscriptions survive by the tens of thousands. And yet an entire legion, roughly 5,000 men plus auxiliaries, could vanish without a single surviving account explaining what happened. If Rome could lose track of 5,000 soldiers, what else has been lost that we do not even know to look for? The last physical trace of the Ninth Legion is a stamped tile from a building project at Nijmegen in the Netherlands, possibly dating to around 120 AD, though the dating is disputed.
If genuine,
It places members of the Ninth on the continent after the last British evidence, supporting the transfer theory. If the tile is misdated or misidentified, the trail ends at York. Somewhere in the 2nd century, 5,000 men marched under the eagle standard of the Ninth and never came back. They left behind stamped bricks, carved inscriptions, and a fortress that became one of England's great cities. They did not leave behind an ending. The Ninth Legion is one of history's most famous disappearing acts, and after nearly 2,000 years, nobody has found where the trick was done.